Your Honor, the jury is present at the county court.
Okay, thank you. You may be seated. And to the state, do you recognize this to be the jury?
We do, Your Honor.
To the defense, do you recognize this to be the jury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. And so now Ms. Lasciando was our last witness. Do you have another witness?
The state would call Henry Turcotte, please.
Henry Turcotte, okay?
You know, please stand right here, please. Face the court clerk, raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give in this matter before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Right this way, please.
You may examine. Direct.
Did you need some water?
I'm good.
Would you please state your name and spell your last for the record?
Henry Turcotte, Turcotte.
How old are you, Henry?
14.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
One brother.
What's your brother's name?
Julian.
What street do you live on?
West Sandstone Court.
Is that here in Boise, Ada County, state of Idaho?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
About 8 years.
I'm going to take you back to the evening of December 8th, 2020. How old were you then?
12.
Did you go to school that day?
Yes.
What did you do after school?
I got home, I did my homework, and then I started playing video games.
Who else was home with you when you got home from school that day?
My brother was home with me, and my grandma was also home with me.
Do you remember anything out of the ordinary happening that day?
Yes.
What was going on?
Some people showed up to my house at around, let's say, 4:30. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on at the time, but I knew that it was something that had never happened to me before, so I was scared.
Did you hear anything?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Different noises, such as like loud banging and like sounds from like audio sounds, like words, very loud. I couldn't exactly like tell what it was saying, but it was loud and like of a scary tone.
What did you think the noise was?
At first, I thought it was construction, but after about, I don't exactly remember how much time, but I realized that it could not have been, because it was so loud and it was different than any construction would be. So I went to see what it was.
So you said you went to see where it was. Where were you in the house initially?
Initially, I was downstairs, so we have 2 floors. I was in the downstairs one, which is not towards, like when you go upstairs, you can see like the streets from upstairs.
So after the noise continued, what did you do?
I went upstairs to look out my window, so there's a front door and there's 2 windows on each side where you can see outside.
And what did you see when you looked out the window?
When I looked out the window, I saw one person in what looked like a construction vest, like a light green, like reflecting kind of vest, and I looked out the window for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then I went back downstairs.
When you looked out the window and you saw that person, what did you see him doing?
He was doing something, but I couldn't exactly tell because it was more of like I was focusing on telling my brother, making sure he was safe, and then calling my parents.
So you said making sure your brother was safe. Can you describe what you mean by that?
Well, I just wasn't sure what was happening, and I wanted to make sure that he was safe in case like anything were to happen. I had to tell him so he would know like what to do.
So you thought something was going to happen to you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to happen to me. I was unsure of the situation. I wasn't sure what was going on.
Once you got your brother, what did you do?
Me and my brother went to my room, and then I called my mom.
And did your mom answer?
My mom did not answer.
What did you do next?
I then called my dad.
And did your dad answer?
Yes.
And you told him what was going on?
Yeah.
How long do you think the noise lasted for?
I can't exactly remember the time, how long it lasted.
Do you recall how long you stayed in your room?
Probably 7 or maybe like 10 minutes.
What happened that made you feel okay to leave your room?
My grandma got home, and my mom also called me after I'd been on the phone with my dad. She called me, and then she came home, and my grandma was home before her, so.
Did law enforcement respond?
They came later, yes.
Did you speak to them?
Yes.
And did you tell them what you saw?
Yes.
Looking back on that evening, what exactly did you feel?
Just really scared because I was very unsure of what was going to happen and what was happening at the time, and I just wanted to ensure like my brother was safe, and yeah, it was just a feeling of uncertainty that was not good.
I'm going to circle back. You had mentioned that you saw a person with the construction vest. Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And where do you see that person?
Behind you to your left.
Can you describe an article of clothing he's wearing?
Black shirt right now.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
You may cross-examine the witness.
Hello.
Hello.
Just relax. I'm a little bit nervous too. First thing I wanted to ask you said it was around 4:30?
Probably yes, but I don't remember the exact time.
I'm kind of have a hard time with time sometimes too, so like you could be like a half hour, 45 minutes off.
Sure.
So it could have been like 5:15?
Could have been, yes.
Okay. And this was after school, correct? And your video games were interrupted by the noise?
Yes.
Okay, could you said that they're wearing a yellow vest. Would you say that that's consistent with what they call a high-vis vest?
I don't exactly know what you mean.
A high-vis vest is like road construction workers use it.
Objection. Mr. Jones is testifying, Your Honor.
And did you wish to respond to your description of what the vest is?
Like a high-vis, maybe I'm not understanding, sorry.
Okay, I'm going to sustain the objection, and if you have questions for the witness to find out what he knows, you may ask him those questions.
Okay, because he doesn't know it as a high-vis. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, you said you only looked out for a couple of seconds, and you were able to identify me from that couple of seconds?
I could tell, now that I see you today, I could tell that it was you. I saw the long hair.
Okay, so there's the long hair and the height, or the...
And you stood out.
yellow vest.
Yeah, and you stood out.
Okay, did you ever see me step on the property?
I couldn't tell from my view.
Okay, and it was testified earlier that your grandma was with you the whole time? But then
No, she was not with me the whole time.
So you were home alone to begin with?
No, she came home with me, and then she took my dog for a walk.
Okay, so at the time of the incident, she wasn't there?
Yeah, but then she came back.
Okay, for like a short walk, probably like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah,
something like
short
that.
walk, yep.
Okay. Did you call 911?
I did not call 911.
So you said that you were scared, but you called your mom and not 911? Mm-hmm. You are aware of the 911 system, right?
Yes, I wasn't, I was just not what I was thinking at the time.
Okay. I think that's everything. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
And any redirect?
Yes, 1 moment, Your Honor. Just have 2 questions. Well, hopefully only 2. When you said that he stood out, the defendant, what do you mean he stood out?
Well, he was the only person I saw at the time from my view, and the construction vest was very, like, it stuck in my memory just because it was one of the only things that I could remember from the time. That's how he stood out to me.
Thank you. And why did you call your mom first?
I called my mom first because I knew I trusted her, first of all, and I thought maybe she knew something about the situation and she would know how to handle it.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, any recross?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, and may the witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You may call your next witness.
The state calls Julian Turcotte.
Julian Turcotte.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony about to give in this matter before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may inquire of the witness.
Do you need any water?
No, thank you.
Could you please state your name and spell your last for the record?
My name is Julian, Turcotte.
How old are you, Julian?
I'm 10 years old.
Is that microphone in your way? You can move it down a little bit if it is. What do you do for fun, Julian?
I play video games and I play sports.
Yeah, what kind of sports do you play?
Baseball, football, and basketball.
What street do you live on, Julian?
West Sandstone Court.
How long have you lived there?
Like 10 years, 9 years.
Do you know why you're here today?
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you about something that happened on December 8th, 2020. Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you remember how old you were back then?
I was 8.
Did something special happen the next day?
Yeah.
What happened?
It was my birthday.
Do you remember going to school on December 8th?
Yeah.
Who was home when you got home?
My grandma picked me up.
Was anyone else home with you?
My brother.
Do you know where your mom was?
I'm pretty sure she was at a meeting.
So what do you do when you get home from school?
I do my homework and I play video games.
Did you play video games that day?
Yeah.
Do you play video games in your room?
No.
Where do you play video games?
I used to play downstairs. When it happened, I would play downstairs, but now I play upstairs.
So for clarification, where you played video games was downstairs in your house?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything happening while you were playing video games?
Yeah, I heard these loud noises. I was pretty confused.
What happened when you heard those noises?
My brother went up to check on what it was.
After your brother checked, what happened?
He told me there were people outside, so I went to my brother's room and with him.
Do you remember what kind of noises you heard?
Not really, but yeah, just not really.
That's okay. Did you look outside?
No,
Why didn't you look outside?
I was pretty scared.
When you got to your brother's room, could you still hear the noise?
Yes.
Did it get louder?
No.
When you got to your brother's room, did you stay there the whole time?
Yeah.
When did you leave your brother's room?
When my grandma got back.
Do you know how long you were in your brother's room?
Probably like 20 minutes.
happened to the noise after your grandma got to the house?
It went away.
Can you tell me how you felt when you and your brother were home? You heard the noise?
I was pretty scared and afraid.
What were you afraid of?
Just loud noises, and there were people outside, because that's what my brother told me.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may cross-examine the witness.
I just have a couple for you, bud. So you said that at the time that you first heard the noises, you were playing video games?
Yeah.
Did you stop to investigate the noises, or did your brother come to you?
My brother told me.
Okay, and then afterwards you went into your brother's room with him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say, good job, buddy. You know, stand with your brother. Your brother's usually got your back. That's everything. Thank you.
Okay. Any redirect?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. May the witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.